There is a two-word phrase you use every single day, perhaps dozens of times, without realizing that you are casting a powerful spell. These words are not just descriptions. They are commands that program your subconscious mind and instruct the very fabric of the universe. What are they, and more importantly, are you using them to create the life you love, or to perpetuate the one you're trying to escape? What if quantum physics and ancient mysticism were saying the exact same thing? That your reality is not fixed, but is being selected by you, moment by moment. The tool you use for this selection is not your hopes or your desires, but two simple words that define your identity. These two words are the master key to collapsing infinite potential into your experienced reality. Have you ever felt stuck in a loop, repeating the same financial struggles or relationship patterns? What if I told you the reason is a contract you keep signing with reality? Over and over again, this contract is only two words long, and it begins with I. Every time you say, I am tired, I am broke, or I am overwhelmed, you are not just describing a feeling, you are giving the universe the direct order to continue the experience. There's something you've been saying your entire life without knowing that every time you do, you're not just speaking, you are shaping reality. Two words, so simple, so common, that we never stop to question them. We use them as shorthand to describe how we feel, what we think, and who we believe we are. But buried beneath the casual simplicity lies one of the most powerful spiritual technologies you will ever encounter. Those two words are, I am. Just for a moment, think about how often those words leave your mouth, or echo in the privacy of your own mind. I am so tired, I am broke, I am not good at this, I am always so unlucky in love, I am just trying to survive. Or perhaps, on better days, I am strong, I am healing, I am ready for what's next. Most people believe these are just statements, harmless descriptions of the current circumstances, but they are not. They are prophecies you are speaking into existence. Every single time you say the words, I am, you are sending a direct command to your subconscious mind and a clear instruction to the quantum field. You are not describing your reality. You are selecting it from an infinite menu of possibilities. The words, I am, are the sacred interface between your identity and the unmanifested potential that surrounds you. They are not observations, they are activations, and modern science, in its relentless pursuit of truth, is finally beginning to catch up with what the great mystics and sages have always known. When you declare, I am, you are not passively waiting for something to happen, you are actively stepping into a specific frequency, and that frequency, by universal law, becomes your life. The only question is, are you using this incredible power consciously, or are you allowing it to run on the unconscious programming of your past? Let's ground this in something real, something science can measure. You've undoubtedly heard of the placebo effect. This is the phenomenon where a person takes a simple sugar pill, but because they believe it's powerful medicine, their body begins to heal itself. What is truly happening there? It's something far deeper than positive thinking. It is a shift in identity. The person isn't just thinking, I hope this works. That's a thought of wishful uncertainty. No, something deeper inside their being, in the command center of their subconscious, starts to declare, I am healing, and that declaration of identity creates measurable, repeatable, undocumented physiological change. Now, take that powerful principle and expand it beyond the body. Apply it to your relationships, your finances, your sense of purpose. Every single area of your life is a direct reflection of who you believe you are, not who you wish you could be. That is the critical distinction. You do not attract what you want. You attract what your nervous system and subconscious mind have been trained to accept as your I am. It is not enough to simply think positively. That's like painting a smiley face on the surface of a cracked and crumbling wall. The real, transformative work is in shifting the subconscious identity blueprint that is running 95% of your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors, and that blueprint is constantly being reinforced and rebuilt, brick by brick, by the I am statements you repeat, out loud or silently, every single day. From a quantum physics perspective, this makes perfect, elegant sense. According to the observer effect, the very act of observing a subatomic particle determines its behavior and location. But what determines what you, the observer, choose to look for? Your consciousness, your expectations, your identity. So when you declare, I am, you are aligning your conscious and subconscious mind with a specific version of reality. You are aiming the powerful lens of your attention, and that focused alignment begins to collapse the wave of infinite potentials into a single, tangible experience, the very one you called into being. This isn't abstract theory. It's literally how your brain is wired. Neuroscience tells us that repeated thoughts, especially when they are charged with strong emotion, create and strengthen neural pathways. These pathways become the superhighways of our personality, hardwiring who we become. But here's the crucial part. The brain doesn't distinguish between a negative, I am, and a positive one. It is a loyal and non-judgmental servant. It simply follows instructions. It diligently builds the reality you keep broadcasting. So, what instructions have you been giving it? You see, I am is not a mere affirmation. It is a declaration of your energetic frequency, and your frequency never lies. You can stand in front of a mirror and say, I am abundant, 100 times. But if your internal state, your nervous system, your cellular memory, is wired for lack and scarcity, then the quantum field receives the powerful signal of lack. That is why this work isn't about mindlessly repeating mantras. It's about courageously embodying a new identity. When you finally say, I am, with coherence, when your thoughts, your emotions, and your body all align with that declaration, you become a powerful magnet. Not for random luck, but for the exact vibrational match of the person you have just declared yourself to be. And that is why this message is so important, because if you continue to define your I am unconsciously, based on past pain, inherited limitations, or societal programming, you will keep collapsing versions of reality that do not serve your highest potential. But if you wake up, right now, in this moment, if you start choosing your I am with awareness, intention, and energy, everything changes. To truly understand why I am is so powerful, we need to step into a realm where science and spirit finally meet. The quantum level. It is here, in the invisible, shimmering field of pure possibility, that your identity is revealed to be not just a psychological construct, but the vibrational reality. And the truth is, you've been collapsing reality with your consciousness all along. You just weren't doing it intentionally. Let's start with that foundational concept in quantum physics, the observer effect. This principle states that the mere act of observation affects the outcome of an event at the subatomic scale. Particles like electrons exist in a cloud of probabilities, a wave of pure potential, until they are observed. The moment we look, the moment we measure, the moment we focus our attention, that shimmering wave of maybe collapses into a particle, a definitive location, a solid reality. In other words, our focused observation creates the conditions for manifestation. Now, apply that to your life, your attention, your focus, your expectations. These are not passive mental activities. They are potent acts of quantum observation, and nothing reveals what you are truly focused on more clearly and powerfully than the two words that follow, I am. Because when you say, I am, you're not just observing, you are identifying, you are locking in a specific version of self, and the field responds accordingly. You are not just the observer, you are the selector. This is where most people miss the mark. They try to manifest by focusing on the things they want: more money, a loving partner, a healed body. But wanting isn't observing, wishing isn't declaring. The field doesn't respond to what you hope for. It responds to who you are being. And who you are being is broadcasted every time you say or feel, I am. This is the difference between a passive intention and active coherence. You can say, I am abundant, 1,000 times, but if your internal state, your nervous system, is still wired for the familiar feeling of scarcity, the wave doesn't collapse into abundance. The frequency isn't matched. The field isn't misunderstanding you. It is reflecting you with perfect, impersonal accuracy. This is why Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches that your personality creates your personal reality. Your consistent thoughts, emotions, and behaviors form an electromagnetic signature that communicates directly with the quantum field. And your identity, your I am, sits right at the heart of that signal. Think of it like tuning a radio. The station you hear depends entirely on the frequency you set. You don't receive 104.7 FM if your dial is tuned to 87.3. It's not personal, it's just physics. In the same way, you cannot receive the experience of love, peace, or abundance if your identity is tuned to the frequency of lack, fear, or doubt. Now, here is where it gets even more powerful. According to the renowned physicist John Wheeler, reality is not something fixed that we merely observe. It's something we participate in creating. He famously said, "We live in a participatory universe." In other words, reality is unfinished until we show up and interact with it. Your consciousness isn't just a passenger in this process, it is the sculptor. And I am is the chisel. When you declare, I am healthy, and you feel it in your body. When your cells align with that statement, when your energy matches the signal of wellness, you are not asking the universe for health. You are collapsing reality into the version of you that already exists in perfect health within the field. The field doesn't need convincing. It needs coherence. That is the secret no one told you. Every possible version of you already exists. The confident you, the healed you, the wealthy you, the awakened you, they are all real, stored in the quantum field as wave patterns of potential. I am is the tool you use to choose which one of those potentials to animate, to bring into this three-dimensional reality. But here is the problem. Most of us built our I am story by accident. Through trauma, through repetition, through the opinions of others. You didn't wake up one day and consciously decide, I am not enough. That story was downloaded into your subconscious from childhood, from culture, from conditioning, and once that story became familiar, it became your default setting. It is the identity you didn't choose, but the one you kept living. It is time to interrupt that loop, because now you know the truth. Identity is not fixed. It is fluid. It is quantum. You are not your past. You are not your patterns. You are the observer, the field, the frequency, and you can reselect your reality at any moment. The metaphysical teacher Neville Goddard said it best: claim it, feel it, and it will be yours. He wasn't talking about wishful thinking. He was pointing directly to the mechanism of quantum embodiment. When you claim, I am, and you align your entire being, emotionally, neurologically, and energetically, with that version of you, the field must comply, not because it is magic, but because it is law. So, what does this mean for your life? Right now, your next breakthrough, your next reality shift, will not come from more struggle or effort alone. It will come from embodiment, not from repeating, I am, like a robot, but from becoming it. Dan Dat Sang Trang 2. Now that we understand the how from a scientific perspective, it's time to explore the who from a spiritual one. How did masters like Neville Goddard and Florence Scovel Shinn teach their students to consciously wield this awesome power? What are the practical, spiritual steps to shifting your I am from a subconscious habit to a divine declaration? That is the journey we will embark on next, bridging the science with your soul, and exploring the ancient teachings that confirm what modern physics is just now discovering. You are the I am. We've journeyed through the science, from the cells in our body to the particles in the quantum field. And we've seen how they all point to one profound truth: your identity creates your reality. Now, we cross the bridge from the laboratory to the inner temple, where these truths become a lived, breathing experience. And the first, most crucial shift in your understanding is this: you are not trying to manifest a thing, you are activating a self, a version of you that already exists in the field, already knows what to do, and already radiates the frequency you desire. All you are doing is remembering how to speak from that self. Because in the quantum universe, time is not a straight line. Every potential version of you, the healed, the abundant, the loved, exists right now. When you match the identity, When you truly feel it, live it, and speak it, that version becomes accessible to you. The mirror of reality shifts. The world reorganizes around your new state of being. And the most liberating truth is, you don't need anyone's permission. You don't need to wait for external proof. You just need to decide. But as you begin this process, you will inevitably confront the friction, the inner resistance, the chorus of doubts, the deep subconscious patterns that rise up to say, "This can't be that easy." We will now explore how to dissolve those blocks and reprogram your field from the inside out. But before we go there, ask yourself honestly, if the mirror of the universe is simply responding to my identity, what part of me am I finally ready to retire? And what version of me am I finally ready to claim? By now, you have probably felt it. That powerful flicker of resonance when you declare something new, like, "I am free," or "I am abundant." It stirs something ancient and true within you. But then, almost immediately, another voice pushes back. It's quiet but firm. It says, "No, you're not. Look at your bank account. Remember your past failures." It sounds like the voice of reason. It feels like the voice of reality, but it is actually the voice of resistance. And if you don't understand what is happening in that critical moment, you will abandon the process, thinking it isn't working, when in fact, its work is just beginning. Let's be crystal clear. Resistance is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of friction between your current, familiar identity and your expanded, chosen identity. You are not doing it wrong. You are waking up. Think of it like this. Your subconscious mind is like a loyal but deeply cautious bodyguard who was hired during a time of crisis in your past. Its primary job is to keep you safe by keeping you familiar. So when you declare a bold new "I am," like, "I am worthy of great love," this bodyguard immediately jumps up and says, "Whoa, hold on, we don't have a security clearance for that reality yet. It's unfamiliar territory. Let's stick to the patterns we know, even if they're painful, because at least we know how to survive them." This is the great paradox of personal transformation. Your nervous system is wired for familiarity, not necessarily for fulfillment. So even if the new identity feels exciting and true, your body might tense up, your thoughts might spiral into doubt, your old stories will try to reassert control. This is not self-sabotage. It is simply outdated programming running its course, and you are now here to lovingly and consciously rewrite it. But how? It begins with understanding that your subconscious doesn't respond to logic or force. It responds to repetition, emotion, and embodiment. If you want to dissolve resistance, you cannot just think a new thought. You have to feel the new self. This is where coherence becomes your superpower. Dr. Joe Dispenza's groundbreaking research shows that when your heart and brain enter a state of coherence, meaning they are in sync emotionally and electrically, your entire energy field becomes more organized and powerful. Your nervous system calms down, your body becomes receptive to new information, and your intentions begin to broadcast a crystal clear signal to the quantum field. It is not about saying, "I am," louder. It is about saying it from a body that deeply and cellularly believes you. So, Here is a simple but life-changing practice to bring you into that state. Do it daily, especially when the old identity tries to reclaim its territory. The quantum coherence exercise, embodying your new I am. First, sit quietly with your spine straight and gently close your eyes. Take 3 deep, slow breaths, imagining you are breathing directly into your heart space, calming your entire system. Now, bring to mind the identity you wish to activate. Choose one clear, powerful declaration for today. For example, I am secure, I am magnetic, or I am free. Next, and this is the most important step, feel it. Move beyond the words and drop into the emotion. Imagine what it would genuinely feel like to live your entire life from this identity. How would you walk? How would you speak? How would your body feel as this secure person? Does your posture change? Does a quiet smile grace your lips? Let the biochemistry of this new identity flood your system. Teach your cells this new song. Breathe as this version of you. Relax into it. Anchor this new state. Gently place a hand over your heart and repeat slowly, with deep meaning, I am the frequency of my new reality. Finally, simply sit in the silence for a minute or two. Let the quantum field calibrate to your new signal. Let your nervous system digest this profound upgrade. Just be, when you do this practice consistently, something profound begins to happen. The resistance weakens. The old voice of doubt begins to fade. Not because you fought it, but because you simply stopped feeding it your energy. You are not trying to force the new belief. You are gently and lovingly teaching your body, through emotion and coherence, that a new identity is safe. And once your body feels safe, the new identity becomes familiar. And once it's familiar, it becomes your new normal. And once it's your new normal, the mirror of your outer world has no choice but to reflect it. This is how you become someone new, not by waiting for external evidence, but by becoming the evidence yourself. You are not just rewiring your brain, you are recoding your entire electromagnetic field. You are shifting the dominant signal that the quantum universe responds to. And over time, the people, opportunities, and experiences that are a vibrational match to your new I am begin to find you. Not because you chased them, but because you became the tuning fork that called them in. But here is the part most people overlook: consistency. Repetition is what tells the field, I'm serious. This is who I am now. It's not about declaring, I am powerful, once and then waiting for results. It is about making it a state you return to, day after day, even when nothing in your outer world has changed yet. That is what makes you dangerous to your old limitations. That is what makes you magnetic to your new reality. You are not broken, you are not behind. You are in the sacred process of remembering who you truly are. And that remembering begins with a declaration. There's a version of you that already lives the life you're trying to create. A version that doesn't doubt, doesn't hesitate, doesn't wonder if it's possible. Because for them, it already is. They have already made the leap. They are living in a timeline where your desires aren't distant dreams. They are their normal, everyday reality, and that version of you isn't out of reach. They are waiting for you to tune in, This is the real secret behind what people call timeline jumping. You are not changing the outside world. You are changing which version of you the world reflects. In quantum terms, every potential you can imagine already exists as a wave of probability. You are surrounded, right now, by infinite parallel timelines, and each one corresponds to a different state of consciousness, a different I am. The timeline where you are still stuck is real, but so is the timeline where you have already remembered your worth, claimed your abundance, and stepped into profound love. So what separates them? Not time, not effort, not luck, frequency. The version of you living in timeline A is broadcasting a different vibrational signal than the version in timeline B, and that signal, that identity, is selected by you, moment by moment, through what you feel and believe to be true about yourself. This is why I am is more than an affirmation. It is an access point. When you begin to declare, I am confident, I am ready, I am already living the life I used to wait for, and you do it with emotional alignment, with physiological coherence, you begin to collapse into that timeline. The field reorganizes around that identity. Subtle shifts happen, your posture changes, your decisions become clearer. You stop tolerating what no longer fits your new frequency. You start noticing synchronicities, the right people, the right ideas that match your new timeline. The old timeline, with its familiar struggles, starts to fade, not because it was destroyed, but because you stopped feeding it your attention. Old realities do not need to be fought. They simply need to be unfollowed. Your attention is the currency of creation. What you stop energizing dissolves. What you embody expands. Your thoughts produce electrical signals. Your emotions produce magnetic fields. Together, they create the electromagnetic signature of your identity, and that signature is the selector of timelines. When your inner world becomes consistent with a new I am, the external world adapts, not all at once with fireworks, but with a quiet, certain alignment, like gears clicking perfectly into place. The most empowering part is that you don't have to know how it will happen. You just have to know who you are becoming. Your job is not to micromanage the quantum field. Your job is to live from the end result, from the version of you that already has it handled. This is what Neville Goddard meant when he said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Assume it, enter it, live in it, and eventually the world catches up. Soon, it feels less like something you are practicing and more like something you simply are. That's when you know you have jumped, not because everything outside of you looks different, but because you do. You have been taught to look forward, to chase, to strive, to climb towards some better version of yourself. But what if that version was never ahead of you, but has always been within you? What if the new you wasn't something you needed to create, but something you simply needed to uncover? The new you already exists, stored in the quantum field, waiting for your alignment, waiting for your I am. You don't have to invent them. You don't have to earn them. You simply have to remember what it feels like to live as them, and then choose, moment by moment, to become that memory in motion. You were never disconnected from this power, only distracted from it, and now you remember. Look at your life right now, not as a judgment, but as a mirror. Ask yourself, what I am has been running the show. Whatever you have been repeating, you have been becoming, but today is different. Today, you know better, and when you know better, you vibrate higher, and when you vibrate higher, you become unavailable for anything that doesn't match your new frequency. Your current circumstances are the echo of a past identity. What you see is not who you are now, it's who you were. And once you fully accept that, the time delay stops being a threat and starts becoming a promise. Because if this life is the result of who you used to be, just imagine what is already on its way from the you that you just became. You are no longer a seeker, you are a selector, and I am is your choosing tool. So now, at the end of this journey, the invitation is simple. No more waiting, no more hoping, just becoming. If you are ready to solidify this shift, to make it not just a moment of inspiration, but the new operating system for your soul, I have created something powerful for you. It's a guide called Awaken Your Quantum Power, designed to help you fully embody the identity shifts we explored here. Inside, you will find practical tools, daily rituals, and deeper teachings to collapse the old self and permanently anchor your new timeline. The link is in the pinned comment below. It is an invitation into something bigger, a new reality, a new resonance, and the real you, who was never truly lost, just waiting for you to come home and say, I am. Thank you for joining this journey of remembrance. If this message resonated, subscribe for more content that empowers you to create from within, and share this with anyone who is ready to reclaim their power.